Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm your host for this video, Leanne, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Alan. And we're here, as you've seen from the title card, with our reactions to AEW's latest pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, which took place in the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona on the 25th of May. So we did our predictions for this video, so somewhere on the screen we'll put a link to that. And as always, because this is a reactions video to an event, this is going to be spoiler heavy, so if you're planning to watch Double or Nothing, please go do that first and then watch this. Yeah, we'll be here. So without further ado, there were two matches on the buy-in. And we start with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron in a tag team match. It's a fairly short and sweet match, but quite a good one to start off. We start the match with Cameron and Bayne in the ring, and they fight it out. This was quite a good match for showcasing different styles of wrestling. I found you got one big beefy lady who's got the power, and the other three are quite spry and more athletic types. So it's quite fun to see the different reactions between them. I did enjoy seeing Cameron managing to hit a double pendulum DDT on Bayne and Ford at the same time, using their momentum against them. Pretty cool to see. They felt the wrath, for sure. There was a moment as well where Harley Cameron drove Penelope Ford's face into Anna Jay's butt, which was entertaining as well.
Well, cushioning the blow.
Definitely. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. It's a nice sort of start off one. Do you have anything on this one?
I figured this was going to be a throwaway, considering they couldn't be bothered to put the actual asset up to use, hence the blurry picture.
Yeah, but it was alright. It was pretty good. So the finish, Harley Cameron hits her finishing move, which is actually what it's called, on Penelope Ford and pins her to win, much to the annoyance of Megan Bayne. Surprise, annoyance.
I don't think I've seen the end of this.
No, probably not.
To the predictions, that's exactly what I predicted, that Penelope Ford would take the hit. That's exactly what we got.
Yay, nice one. And the second match on the buy-in is Crew and RPG Vice versus AR Fox, Commander, Hologram, and Bandido. So this was one that was announced very
2 hours before.
Very last minute. So we didn't have predictions for this one. But it was another fun match. Range of styles. There's a lot of lucha in this one, so we got to see quite a lot of the sort of how different styles interact with lucha and all that flippy stuff. It's pretty good. We did have RPG Vice and Crew attacking before the bell, so we start off with just a full-on brawl before we get Rocky Romero and Commander sort of officially starting the match. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. There's quite a lot to follow, quite a lot going on. Lots of flippy stuff and high flying. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Do you have anything on this one in particular?
That rain's coming down really hard.
Yes.
It's constant.
Yes, it was. It's sort of don't blink or you'll miss it kind of action. So the finish, we had Commander hitting an assisted 21-plex on Action Andretti and pins him to win.
Looked a bit janky. He did overshoot because of the assistance.
Yeah.
When he was pinning him.
Mm-hmm. It was a little bit.
No predictions.
No predictions.
No
score.
Yeah.
And then we go on to the main show. So this is where it starts. So that we have the Owen Hart Foundation tournament matches bookend the show. So we start with the women's tournament finals, Mercedes Mone versus Jamie Hayter, which was a blessing to get this one out of the way. It was a bit, Jamie Hayter was great. She was really good. But there were some very weird moments with Mercedes Mone.
When isn't there?
I know, pretty much. Including the one that sort of made me laugh the most was when the commentators call that she's doing a single leg crab on Jamie Hayter, but she's literally just holding her leg. There is no submission. There's no grab. There is no grab. And there's a couple of moments like that, but we won't dwell on it too much. Unless there's anything you wanted to pull out.
Let's get Mone out of the way.
Let's get her out the way.
That's all I got to add.
So the finish, Mercedes Mone blocks a couple of forearms from Jamie Hayter, sort of grabs her arms and pulls her into some weird pinning predicament that the commentators then sort of call as a DDT.
So what you mean to say is she accidentally dropped Hayter on her head and then rolled into it?
Quite possibly, yeah. But the pin stands and Mercedes Mone wins and wins the tournament and gets her title shot. Yay.
In terms of predictions, I got that one right. You had that as your desired result for Jamie Hayter.
That is fine by me.
Is it? She won.
Well, at least I don't get a negative point. It's fine.
But you still didn't get a plus point.
Desired result's fine. That works. They have a very small amount of filler now, which is the DraftKings ad, and that's it. Until our next match. We've got Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia versus FTR. It was quite a hard-hitting match. FTR playing mind games from the start. There's a point where I think it's Cash sort of hugs Daniel Garcia, and Garcia obviously pushes him off him. And there's like hair ruffling and this little kind of, mind games. I think the commentators were calling it little brothering.
Yeah.
It's a bit insulting, probably.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I did quite enjoy this one. There was a point where we've got FTR both in submission moves from Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia, and Stokely's trying to dive into the ring to help get them out, but Daddy Magic grabs Stokely's legs and drags him out, and they have a bit of a fight on the outside. So there is outside interference, but it's not too much, which is pretty good. And you do have oh, my brain, it's gone. Okay, we continue. Anything in particular from you? I have a brain fart, so.
I don't quite understand how taking a shadow machine on the outside of the ring is any worse than taking it on the inside of the ring, because you don't hit the floor, you hit the person's legs.
I was thinking that.
But yeah, Nigel barely moved after it, so...
But if anything, FTR took the worst of that, because their backs hit the floor.
Yep. That made no sense.
No, it didn't. And that's where Tony Schiavone gets involved and sort of leaves the desk to try and help Nigel McGuinness up. And to be fair, FTR, well, they don't lay a hand on him. They just sort of back him back down. But yeah, he's trying to get involved again. Cool. So in terms of a finish, we have Dax with Garcia in a sharpshooter. Then Cash is on the outside running crowd control, keeping Daddy Magic and Nigel McGuinness under control. Garcia and Tony keeps him in his place. Garcia doesn't tap out, though. He passes out.
That's being overdone.
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? I guess they want to put that show of toughness in there, but
if you do it to everyone, it's not tough anymore. It's just a standard.
It's a bit stupid, really. You're gonna get brain damage. But yeah, it was a fun match, but like you say, a couple of not great moments, perhaps.
Well, we predicted Nigel and Daniel to win.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I guess the storyline will continue, maybe.
I kind of hope not. Maybe with Garcia, but not with Nigel.
Yeah, I think they'll overplay it otherwise, perhaps.
No, it doesn't feel like it would.
Feels it's a little bit. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they do. It's, they could make something good out of it, but it could get a bit stale, perhaps. Okie dokie. Next match is a stretcher match between Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. We start with Ricochet attacking Mark Briscoe from behind before the bell. And it goes on from there. It's pretty brutal. There's a lot of blood. Not entirely sure why at some points, because the blood happens before the scissors come out.
Was it the chair shot?
It might have been the chair shot. It just feels like there was more blood than could be justified potentially for that moment. It might just be me
I don't know, if
overthinking
you
it.
take a chair to the head and it's going to bust you open, there is going to be a lot of blood.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess to me, I think it would have been more impactful if it came from the scissors. If that makes sense.
But then you got a small puncture hole, not a massive gash.
Yeah, that's what blading's for, right?
Making gash.
And cut it open. There was a bit of a, I can't tell if I enjoyed it or not, moment where Mark Briscoe gets a bucket of cleaning stuff out from under the ring and sprays Ricochet's head and polishes it, obviously leaning into the bald jokes. Incidentally, Briscoe has grown out a mohawk, apparently to spite Ricochet, to show that he doesn't have to be bald.
I come back to bite him when he gets sprayed in the face with it. Though.
Very true. He did get sprayed in the face with Windex or something.
That's probably the cleanest he's been in years.
Until all the blood got over him. Then he got dirty again. There was a moment where Ricochet gets Briscoe into the ambulance, but before he can close the door, Briscoe gets a crutch in the way, although the crutch seemed to be wiggling around for quite a while before the door closed. Okay. And then a fire extinguisher is also involved, spraying Ricochet in the face. And then in the air for no reason, which is fine.
It's Briscoe.
It's Briscoe. He's crazy.
Doesn't know anything for any reason.
Yeah. It's still unclear why this was a stretcher match, but
yeah.
It was fun. It was fine. Do you have anything you want to touch on before we get to the finish? No.
Why was there two stretchers, I guess?
I was wondering
that. Felt weird.
But I think because of the mechanism, because the stretcher sort of automatically lifts up into the ambulance, so I think that maybe it was too complicated for them to actually attach it to where it needs to go.
So don't put one at ringside?
Yeah, but then you need it for spots.
Just have the one that's by the ambulance, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it felt weird.
It was a bit weird. But yeah, anyway, for the end, which is also a bit weird. So the stretcher is already in the ambulance at this point. They have a scissor fight, and then there are two pairs. Ricochet
kind of scissor fight.
Ricochet gets Briscoe into the ambulance and closes the door to win. And they say, "Oh, he's on the stretcher in the ambulance, so it counts."
You did kind of get thrown into it, onto it.
Yeah, it's fine. It works.
So in predictions, I predicted the Scissor King to win. You predicted the Hero of All to win. So who got that one? Ricochet won. So
you did it.
I'm up by 2.
Congrats. All right, our next match is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas. And we start in the ring with Bobby Lashley and Dustin Rhodes. I say the big guys, but Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are fairly similar size.
Shelton is smaller than Bobby.
He is smaller. Not sort of notably so, maybe.
I don't know. When you're standing next to each other, you can see it.
Yeah. You've also got MJF at ringside as the newest member of the Hurt Syndicate. He gets involved quite a few times. Some in ways that work. So he attacks Sammy Guevara on the outside while the ref's distracted, for example. But then other times, it doesn't quite work out in his favor, including one where his involvement allows Dustin Rhodes to hit the unnatural kick, which is a low blow kick on Shelton Benjamin. It's MJF's fault. And further into the match, there's a point where MJF is offering the Dynamite Diamond ring to Shelton Benjamin, but blatantly in front of the ref, who's clearly like looking at them like,
they're like, you've messed around enough, just get this over with, something like that.
Yeah, it's taking too long. Then Lashley stops him from giving him the ring, I suppose. It's unclear what the game is. Yeah, it's like MJF's usually pretty smooth and sneaky, so I'm not quite sure what his motive is. But I think that's probably the whole point of the storyline, is we don't know what his motive is. And that's pretty much it. It was a fun match. I did enjoy it. It
was alright. There was, I don't know, they felt I was missing something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that there's some bits, like the stuff with MJF, where it feels a little bit out of place.
I think it's too much outside interference.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think
way too much, and I'm not a big fan of outside interference constantly.
Yeah, it should be a reason for it
Mm-hmm. At
Yeah.
least with the Don Callis family, there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
With this, there wasn't.
Yeah, I get you. So to the finish, Shelton Benjamin hits Sammy Guevara with a thrust kick and pins him for the win. So Hurt Syndicate retain the tag team championships.
It's after Bobby Spears dusting through the barricade.
Yes, he did do that. And then had a really weirdly friendly moment with MJF. They don't care.
We predicted Hurt Syndicate to retain.
Cool. We got it. Whoop, whoop. The next match is for the AEW Continental Championship. And this is Kazuchika Okada defending against Speedball Mike Bailey. I really enjoyed this match. This is really good. There's some really nail-biting moments in it. Close finishes.
One thing I don't get, straight off the bat, this match is scheduled for 60 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All the Continental title matches are generally 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So go on.
It's strange, unless they've made a different choice. Bit weird.
They would have made a thing about it because they did.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, am I mixing up with the TNT title?
Ah. Possibly. There was a moment where Speedball Mike Bailey wrestles barefoot for various reasons that they've gone into throughout the shows, and goes for a kick on the outside to Okada.
Continental matches have a 20-minute time limit.
Oh, strange. Okada moves, so the kick connects with the steel steps instead. So the front of his foot slams into it. Luckily, there's padding because he's got the kick pads on. But he does then turn it into a reason to do a crane kick, which is always a bit of fun.
This did run in the 20-minute time limit. So.
Okay. Like I said, in the long run, doesn't matter, but it's confusing that they announce it differently. What have I written there? Bailey thinks he has Okada after a time adventure, is it the move?
I think
time adventure.
There's so many finishes.
Okada grabs the rope just before the 3 count. So the 3 count hits, but the ref sees the hand, so is able to call it that it's a 2. I imagine some people would be like, "Oh, you counted 3. It should be 3," but it's ref's call. He saw that it was before the hit, so he can call it.
Yep.
It's very hard, I imagine, to actually not hit the mat when you're so close. So it's fine. We allow this. I really enjoyed it. It was really fast paced, hard hitting, and both these guys are amazing.
Okada's new hair color.
Yes.
He changed it again.
He's got it darker.
So he had it black on Collision, and now it's more silver. So I think you probably get it dark before you go backwards. Maybe
take it back to a grey rather than, because it's usually like sheer white. So anything else before the finish?
Nope.
Okay. So Speedball Mike Bailey goes to get to the top, but it's on the way down doing some sort of spinny move. I don't know. It gets a drop kick in midair.
Was
might have been going for some kind of splash.
Shooting star, maybe.
Yeah, the commentators were basically saying we don't even know what he was going for, which is why I didn't get anything. But yeah, drop kick in midair, and then Okada follows that up with a Rainmaker and pins Bailey for the win.
Crunch.
Retaining the Continental Championship.
That's why it's raining so hard outside.
They made it rain.
The Rainmaker struck again.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this one.
It's really good. Yeah, we both predicted Okada to win too. So.
Yay, bonus. Okay, our next match is for the AEW Women's World Championship, and this is between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. It's another one that I enjoyed. I enjoyed most of them. They got ups and downs, but I always enjoy a bit of Toni Storm, and Mina Shirakawa is always fun also. Lots of counters and reversals showing how much these women know each other and their movesets. They've obviously fought each other multiple times. We do have Luther caught in the crossfire quite a lot in his cowboy boots, including Mina Shirakawa sort of vaulting over him to hit a move onto Toni Storm on the outside.
And Toni Storm using him as a stepping stool.
Yes. I feel like that's standard. He loves it.
Just like Tony Atlas. What, huh?
Oh, we won't go there. Yeah, it was great. I didn't sort of get a huge amount of notes because it was, for the most part, a pretty solid match. I'll wait till you finish writing before asking. Okay, so we'll go to the finish, where Toni Storm hits a Storm Zero and pins Mina Shirakawa for the win. So Toni retains. Anything specific about this match apart from the stepping stool bits?
Working on the knee was obviously smart, but
yes,
she obviously overcame at the end. We both predicted Toni Storm to win. I don't think there's realistically any concern that Mina was going to win this in that sense. As much as I would like to have seen it,
especially with the tournament.
Yeah, I would have rather see Mina win this, sort of come in to great fanfare and whatnot, but it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair enough. They did share a big kiss at the end, so that's fun. Mina Shirakawa's got a new obsession. Well, she's already a bit obsessed, so.
See when Mariah May returns and then.
Very true. Cool. Next we've got probably the biggest match, if in a sense, of the show.
Are we talking surface area?
Probably surface area. The Anarchy in the Arena match. So we've got Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow, Nightingale, and the Ops versus the Death Riders.
And the Young Bucks.
And the Young Bucks. Why didn't I write that down? My bad. Swerve had a pretty cool Predator outfit for his entrance.
And the laser things.
Yeah, lasers, and he had the helmet and everything, and it looked pretty cool. Hopefully he gets to keep that. And then
probably from his personal collection.
Probably. And the Young Bucks, then their entrance was hilarious. It's the whole Founding Fathers gimmicks. They've got old-timey music, and the ring announcer's got a tea-stained scroll that he's reading off. It's very silly. And then that music continues to play as the match starts. When the Ops enter, Samoa Joe is not with them. So that was subject to some speculation. But when the match starts, he appears behind Claudio Castagnoli and attacks him. Sort of, I think it's the top or the middle of the fan space. Yeah. And then it goes a bit nuts, I suppose. We get, for a lot of the sort of first half of the match, maybe we got four-way split screen, and it's very difficult to know what to be keeping your eyes on. Might not be, maybe not half.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably
quarter
maybe
or so.
Quarter, maybe fifth.
So the we've still got the Founding Fathers music playing until Kenny Omega gets them to change it. He sort of makes motions to the people in the back, and they put on "I'm So Excited," and that plays for a bit, which is fun. And then we get "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor."
I mean, Kenny specifically says, let's change it for some early 2000s rock.
Yes.
Alternative rock or whatever.
He realised he needed to be a bit more specific, perhaps. You got the whole crowd singing to it, but then it plays a few times. It's like, okay, that's enough now.
3 and a bit?
3 and a bit, yeah, quite possibly, until they knock over a speaker. But that's fine. We will suspend disbelief. Staple guns. We get staple guns. A lot of staples. Everyone gets staples. Swerve gets a staple in his tongue, which we were wondering if there were actually staples in, because why would you do that to yourself? But then he showed off at the end that there was actually a staple in his tongue. So if you're squeamish and haven't watched this match, don't watch this match. Otherwise,
I don't know. There's less blood in this than there was in the stretcher match.
Yes, but staples in your tongue.
What's worse, staples in your tongue or a padlock through your ear?
Oh yes, the padlock. So yes, that's Willow Nightingale gets chained to the ring post with a padlock through her stretched earlobe. So that was a bit gnarly.
A bit.
A little bit. We get some outside interference, but in an Anarchy in the Arena match, it's kind of expected.
It's all legal, yeah.
This is fine. So we do have Hook appearing, who attacks Castagnoli with a golf club. And interestingly, when Samoa Joe goes to welcome him, he walks off. So not sure what's going on there.
He's probably upset that Powerhouse replaced him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
you're going to turn down a trios title match?
I know. Well, I don't know what he expects, but he's young. Then Gabe Kid comes out, interrupting a Kakuna clutch with the briefcase. Sorry, Kakina. I always get that wrong. My apologies. Then he's got the briefcase, so he uses that to attack. And then Mark Briscoe. So
No. You can say it. It's still bloodied, Mark Briscoe.
Still bloody.
It's caked. It's dried. It's dark.
It's a bit
Jesus,
gross.
man, take a shower.
Oh, so it's while Gabe Kidd is trying to load Samoa Joe into the ambulance, which is still there for some reason, and Mark Briscoe attacks him there. There's an awful lot that's going on. This match is crazy, and we can't really do it justice by like doing any kind of even brief play-by-play. So if you're interested, obviously go and it's one to watch just because it can't really be described. Leading up to the finish, we get the Death Riders are all loaded into the ambulance and locked in. I'm not sure if they're locked in, but I guess you can't open it from the inside.
You can open it from the inside, but the ops and that are holding it from the outside to stop it from opening.
They're standing there. Which leaves the Young Bucks alone in the ring with Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega.
So maybe a way to lock it from the outside.
Maybe. I don't know. They couldn't get out. They were banging on the windows.
Why didn't they just go to the driver compartment?
Who knows? So then Kenny hits the one-winged angel on Matthew Jackson through an exploding table, which is there for some reason. At the same time, Swerve hits a Swerve Stomp while he's got thumbtack boots on. Thumbtack sneakers, I suppose.
It's his own sneakers as well.
Yes,
like
his own brand. It's pretty cool.
Just for sale.
And that's onto Nicholas Jackson in the ring. Swerve pins Nicholas Jackson to win. They always finish in the ring. They might not always. That's just in my head.
Was there any falls taking place outside the ring?
There were refs with them.
Yeah, but
I didn't see any attempts.
Any covers,
Interesting. But it was fun. It was wild. I probably missed a lot myself. There's a lot going on.
In terms of predictions, you predicted the Death Riders and the Young Bucks to win.
Yeah.
I did not. I picked Team Kenny.
The lead increases.
That's 3 now.
Yep. Oh. And then we get a nice break of some filler. One piece of filler. It's an ad for All In, which is on July the 12th.
Is that filler if it's shown on the next event?
I count it when it's WWE, so I count it when it's AEW.
Yeah, but it does really show like 15 times in a 3-hour show.
Very true. We count it every damn time. Oh, Rags is back. He's running down the stairs. Our next match is the Paragon, or just Paragon, versus the Don Callis family. With Don Callis at commentary.
And Lance Archer.
I don't think he's on commentary, but he's by commentary.
Oh, there is a bit where he gets on commentary.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid match. I haven't got much in the way of notes, because it was just a good match. You did get Don Callis involvement, of course, as you would.
That's to be expected.
Yeah, you can't have Don Callis there without getting involved. Did you have anything specific on this?
When he got involved is when Lance Archer jumped on the headset.
Ah, yes.
When Kyle and Josh Alexander were going in the ring together, that was a bit of a wrestling clinic.
Oh, yeah, really cool.
Sure. The Panama Sunrise on the outside as well. On Fletcher.
Nasty.
Yeah, Fletcher was not having a good day.
He wasn't. But he gets a good show in the finish as he hits a brainbuster on Kyle O'Reilly and pins him to win.
He's after a few different triple moves and stuff, and like a top power bomb. And
you know, sometimes when the finish gets so many moves, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Well, this is a weird placement for this match, Tom.
Yeah.
I get this a palate cleanser, but I think that Okada and Speedball would have worked better here.
Yeah, I think you're right. The build up to the to the finale, essentially.
We also got 2 like matches with more than 3 men in each, back to back, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
We both predicted Don Callis family to win.
Okay. After the match, the Paragon attacked Don Callis family. the family call in RPG Vice to assist, and then out come the Hounds of Hell, Brody King and Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro Ishii is not a Hound of Hell.
I think that's the way the announcer said it. Maybe put that down.
But no, Buddy Matthews is still out.
So they come out along with Hiroshi Tanahashi to, I guess, even the odds.
President of New Japan in his last active year of wrestling.
Yeah, I suppose this is sort of leading up to Forbidden Door.
It's weird because you got all in between.
Yes.
All in, comma, in between.
Yeah.
And he's already had his last United States match at Windy City Riot, so he's not going to have a match at All In. I don't know how they're doing it, it's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. Then we've got an ad for Fighter Fest on June 4th, including some details about the AEW International Championship Tournament. And then I guess we're going to go to the favorite part of the show. The signs of the pay-per-view. The signs of the pay-per-view. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot going on signs-wise. I did get 3, but one I didn't really want to bring, so that's gonna be number 3rd. And apologies, number 3rd. In 3rd place, the Turd Syndicate. Apologies. 2nd place, which amazingly, I'm amazed this was 2nd place, but it just shows the standard we've got this time. It just said jump with a lot of exclamation marks and was used a few times when people were going to be doing some jumping. And in 1st place, the Scumbag Syndicate.
Slim pickings.
Very slim pickings. But some Scumbag Syndicate kind of works. A little bit of a tongue twister if you try and say it too many times. And yeah, I thought it was quite fun. So, get better. Come on, guys. Do better signs, or at least write in bigger letters so I can read them.
And there was one in the front row. Will Ospreay is going to All In to face the champion or something like that.
No, I didn't quite catch that one.
We'll see if that comes true in a minute.
We will. And that was the signs of the pay-per-view. The signs of the pay-per-view. And with that comment from you, that leads us nicely into what you've all been waiting for. It's time.
I'm still swallowing.
It's time for the main event. Yay! So this is the Owen Hart Foundation and Men's Tournament Final. Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. This is another barn burner of a match. Another non-stop, nail-biting, full of action, a fight, I think we'll call it.
Slugfest.
Definitely. Both Hangman and Ospreay had quite poignant sort of entrances. Hangman had a video package where he's sort of coming across relics, I suppose, from the big moments, like burning down of the house. There's some pieces of charred wood and the crib from when Swerve broke into his house, stuff like that. And he's sort of showing how important this is to him. And Ospreay, before the music hits, it replays one of the promos that he gave
from Dynamite.
From Dynamite, that's the one, against Page. I guess it's against, showing how much it means to him. So it's a really good way to start. So it keeps up the energy and the emotion leading straight into the match. There's a moment where we've got Ospreay and Page on the Spanish announce table. It's like really rough. Ospreay's trying to get a tiger driver. Hangman sort of manages to transition it as if he's going to hit a tombstone. Deadeye? Oh, I thought it was there. Cool. He's trying to turn it around to do that, but something in the shift of weight must have made the desk collapse.
It's when Hangman grabs him and kind of goes to put him on his back.
So it's that motion, isn't it?
I just kind of go...
It just collapses, so everything is bad. I'm sure they were okay, but that must have been pretty rough. They do then get up and they do the Deadeye then on the collapsed table, which isn't maybe the same impact, but they're not going to put the table back up.
It's going to be worse because you got the table on direct concrete.
Yeah, there's no give to it at all. But I mean, other than that moment, which they made the best of, I had no faults with this that I could see. I really enjoyed it. It was a great main event. And we'll come to the finish unless you've got anything.
No.
It's really good. So I've literally written, after a long, hard fight. This
is the longest match on the card.
Wow, that is actually surprising. Hangman lands a buckshot lariat and pins Will Ospreay to win.
This was nearly 2 minutes longer than the Anarchy in the Arena.
That is crazy because that match felt long. So yeah, Hangman wins the tournament and has his title shot. He looks very emotional about it.
Sure.
And yeah, it's a great way to kind of finish off. Hangman sort of heads up the ramp towards where the trophy is, but then walks back down into the ring where Ospreay is looking very tearful, and they share a handshake.
Oh, tearful is the right word. Frustrated.
He looked like he was crying to me. But
frustrated,
maybe...
I think, is the word I want to use.
Yeah.
I mean, he had his head sort of down at one point. And then...
Yeah. They share a handshake, a sign of respect and sportsmanship.
Is it a handshake or a handhold?
They held hands.
Yeah.
It counts. Yes, and then back up the top of the ramp, so Hangman stands by this trophy with his belt, and it's a nice moment.
I predicted Hangman to win. You had that as your desired result.
Is that right? I thought I had my desired result with Jamie Hayter.
Oh, no, sorry. I had my desired result as this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You predicted Hangman. I had a desired result. That's right.
Yeah. There we go. So that's it. That's double or nothing.
So we've got Moxley versus Hangman at All In, and we've got Mone versus Toni Storm.
I just remembered another weird Mone moment. But
oh no, come on.
It's after she wins, as soon as she wins, she stumbles out of the ring and literally just runs like she's falling up to the trophy. It would look terrible, and then falls down by it.
Why are you running away? That was stupid.
I don't get it, but oh well, maybe she's just running out of time. But yeah, overall, I think it's not like the top of the AEW pay-per-views that we've seen, but there were some great matches in there. It was long.
Yeah.
But
maybe a bit long for what the actual amount of matches was.
Quite possibly, yeah.
They've had more matches in less time before now.
Yeah, it's strange when they barely have any filler to think how on earth that's possible. But yeah, maybe not as many short matches. So yeah, that's that.
Least like match.
Oh, it's gotta be Mone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
hands
the
down.
fact that she won. We've said it before, but I'm not going to say it again. What was your most like match?
It is quite tricky because there were a couple of excellent ones. I think I am going to go with Ospreay and Hangman, though. It was just such a great way to finish off the show. And on the edge of your seat the whole time.
I don't know, there's parts of the match that dragged a bit for me.
Fair enough.
I'm actually going to go Okada and Speedball.
Nice, yeah. That was excellent. That's like way up there for me,
that
too.
That was nuts.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Take care of them.
Okay. I can't remember what's next pay-per-view wise, so just, yeah, watch out on social media, I suppose. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can talk to us there, or talk to us in the comments. Let us know what your favourite match of the show was, and why. Join in the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. So that's that. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.
Leaves his plants.
Bye.
Bullet Club.